Yeah, what's up, everyone? I'm writer director Edgar Ibarra, and we have
Todd Cortez, loud and clear.
Todd. So, let's go ahead and kick things off with not the All We Have trailer because I'm kind of tired of that one. I know it's out there, so let's go ahead and jump straight into the bus stop scene. We'll come back to us, chat about that, okay? And of course, the screening. Here we go.
Here, take my hand. This is it.
Hey, does your phone still work?
Yeah, usually works pretty well.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, sure. Can I help you with something?
Hey, you taking the bus?
Sitting at the bus stop would usually be an indication of that.
I meant like,
What did you mean?
do you want to ride?
Are you serious?
What?
This is how you put the moves on.
I'm not trying to put.
First, you try and mow them down, then pick them up by offering them a lift. Yeah, smooth.
You know what? Never mind. I was just hoping.
To get me into some random guy's car today?
Todd, what's up, dude? So, yeah, that was a snippet from the bus stop scene from which film, Todd? Are you there, Todd? Todd, are you there? Are you frozen? I think you might be there. I think you might be frozen. Maybe you're. Todd, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Todd? Okay, so let me go ahead and call Todd up on the phone because I don't think Todd can hear me. And hopefully he can, but yeah, so that was a scene from All We Have. And let me see. I guess Todd cannot hear me. Todd, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear
Oh, okay. Did you have your audio turned off?
you. Yeah, because it was back and forth between both Facebook and Zoom.
Todd, turn your audio down. That way you don't get the feedback. So, that was a scene from the bus stop scene on the very front end of which film, Todd?
All we have, the
All we
film that
have.
we worked on the entire summer.
That's right. It seemed like the entire summer. Well, it was spring a little while back, and then going into summer. And I actually wouldn't have mind working in like 110, 115 degrees. Like I would have been crazy enough to. But we you can't ask people to do that. So Todd, you were a production assistant on All We Have, right, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what was that experience like? Just to kind of go into that very briefly.
Um, I mean, overall, it was fun. And not only that is like, I think you put it best is like you wear multiple hats. Like even if you're a production assistant, you're not always going to be. Um, I think people have this ideal like production assistant image that somebody just goes and fetches the director his coffee. Um, yeah, like I don't know, like that's the way they portray it in movies, which is
Yeah.
kind of a BS kind of thing. Because I was handling either lights, I was helping supervisor Mina
Mina
with
Lara.
with little things here and there,
Yeah.
and then just anywhere needed. Like I think on that bus stop scene, I helped with the was it the bounce board for the lighting.
hmm
So yeah, just anywhere I needed to be, I was willing to get my hands in and ready to go.
And Todd, on the production, you actually earned yourself a nickname for which Maribel is asking a certain question. Hi, Todd, are you tired?
Am I tired right now?
Yeah.
I'm always tired.
Which is what nickname did you earn on the set of All We Have?
Tired Todd. Yeah, that was actually that night. I think that day we actually had where I got that name. I think we had worked, I mean, including breaks, but all together it was an 18-hour day.
Yeah,
And like at the end of the night, I think we were all just cold. And then everybody just noticed I was dead tired. And I think everybody like talked me into having my first cup of coffee ever. So,
that's
yeah,
right. I forgot about that because you're still not a regular coffee drinker, are you?
no, I've just never gotten accustomed to coffee in general. Like
Wow.
I'm not a caffeine person. So,
So Todd, let's go ahead and talk about the screening because the big news, the cat that I let out of the bag is that the film, as we saw in the graphics on the front and the back end, the movie's going to be screening at Harkins on the south side,
yeah.
I-19 in Irvington at the Harkins Tucson Spectrum 18 theaters, starting Friday night, February 26th. Really, really big news. I'm very proud of all of us as a cast and crew for that. Let me go ahead and address the elephant in the room first and foremost. It was a very tough decision to move forward and offer up a screening, especially during a pandemic when we're told don't go out and blah blah blah. And I understand. I actually held off for a long time on this decision before a friend really just encouraged me to. Um, so the reason why I did it is because basically I wanted to do the most for this film and offer it up on every single on every single way possible before sending it off to platforms and then just moving on to the next film. It's no one's fault that it's a pandemic, but we've all adjusted. Obviously, same thing with Harkins. So they have a mask protocol, got to wear a mask. They have social distancing, so their theaters are at 50% capacity. Todd, you've been to the movies, you've seen that 50% capacity. I've been to the movies once, seen that 50% capacity. You need to have your mask on unless you're seated and eating popcorn or whatever your munchies are, then you can take your mask off. So it's not like they're absolutely strict about that, but for everyone's safety. So it's the theater's trying. The theater really is trying. And again, it's not the theater's fault. Todd, it's not your fault. It's not my fault. No one's fault that we're in a global pandemic. And so that's why if anyone, given those safety guidelines, would want to come on out, I'd love for you to come on out. If you don't, I will understand. But that said, if you feel comfortable coming on out, uh, Todd and I are going to be there opening night, Todd, Friday, February 26th, right?
Yes, sir.
Sweet, Todd. So let's take a look at the regular trailer. Um, actually, now let's go to the Tucson High scene. I rolled that one yesterday, just to kind of offer something different, and then we'll talk about Tucson High and your role within Tucson High. Okay, so here we go, sir.
Here, take my hand. This is it. Oh! What's your problem? Yeah, I hope the rest of your stuff falls too.
Sorry about earlier.
Okay, here we go. Todd, I caught my voice. Okay, here we go. Todd, we're back. So that was shot at Tucson High. That was shot at Tucson High, and you were there for all of those scenes. It was Father's Day of 2018, from what I remember. What was that like, Todd?
I don't even remember that long ago. No, I'm kidding.
They,
No, no, that was a no, that was a pretty fun day. I
Yeah,
mean, like I went to the U of A, so I was right across the street from Tucson High.
yeah.
But I've just known like some of the history of Tucson High. Like I think they filmed what was it, Can't Buy Me Love there.
Can't buy me love. Yep,
So I
Patrick
think that was
Dempsey.
kind of cool that we're kind of filming in the same place as another
I
like 80s
I
movie.
I also think it's kind of cool too, like when you, if you really take into consideration Tucson's rich filmmaking history,
Yeah.
everything from obviously westerns, cowboy movies, as far back into the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s to the present.
Oh yeah.
And then you have your non-westerns too, like Can't Buy Me Love. I think that was 1987. And there's actually some good videos about, I think one guy, I forgot what his channel's name is on YouTube, but he goes around location by location by location. He'll cut from him to, different locations all throughout Tucson. We also had
Yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds filmed here, and so I'm very proud that, all we have
Yeah.
is also filmed here in Tucson and also filmed Tucson High. One of the things I was mentioning, Todd, yesterday is that Tucson High has that classic high school look,
Oh
long,
yeah.
echoey hallways, the lockers, and it's all indoors too. And so, I mean, I had a blast filming there. Cool tidbit, opening of the film. It's got actor Stefano Ropesa. Camera comes down in the library, and as we come out of black, you can barely see you darting off for a battery that I asked you to get me, but then we
Yeah,
didn't take, right?
I was gonna see if you actually remembered what I was running to go get, and I'm like, yep, it was a battery.
It was a battery, dude. It was, yeah, because we had left the batteries in the lobby. But Todd, what do you say to people who are like, how do I get involved in film, and, is filmmaking worth it if they're really passionate about, the craft of filmmaking?
Oh man, like I mean, like with me, I've always been into movies as like ever since I was little.
Hmm.
But like if like getting into filmmaking, I would say like I'd say make your own. I mean, as cheesy, I don't actually that's not even cheesy to say. I think just go for it. Pick up a camcorder, whatever you have, even a cell phone, and make what you can with what
My
you.
I'm with you on that, Todd, because I come from the school of early Robert Rodriguez. We're talking like the early 90s.
Okay.
Um, same methodology. Pick up a camera, see what you have around you, build a movie around that. If you have a dog, throw your dog in the movie, etc. If you have a house, build a movie around that. And if this whole DIY concept or mentality, gets someone to think like, well, that's dumb and that's not the way it's done. Guess what? There are millionaire kids on YouTube that kind of don't care about what you think. You know what I mean? So they're doing something right. You know what I mean? And so yeah, man, pick up a camera, do your thing. We obviously did, Todd. Um, that was such a cool day to be able to film inside of Tucson High. We had a lot of extras, a lot of great people that came out, and they might have not even known what the storyline was or but people just wanted to participate, right, Todd?
Yeah, for sure. Especially like the local Tucson film community.
Yeah,
I mean, like on Facebook, I see so many people in this. I don't even want to call it a small film community, but you just see everybody that has a familiar face, whether you've seen them in one project
yeah.
or another, and you just see that obviously they have this love for the craft that they're willing to go out and um, go for a casting in another film.
Yeah, and I'll forever appreciate that, Todd, because look, first it was locking down many locations. This was usually the process. Look at this script. Okay, what can we film next? What do we want to film next? What can we film next? So for Tucson High, had to set that up, had to do the rentals, the rental fee and everything. And then afterwards, once the location was booked, Father's Day, about like 2 years ago, I want to say almost three. Um, you let the principal actors know, okay, here's what we're doing, the scenes, the locations, etc. All that day was Tucson High, inside and out. And then afterwards, I got on Facebook and I literally said, to the various Facebook groups, like, without really, I just put a plea out there like, hey, doing a few, college scenes. Can you guys come on out if you guys want to be in a movie? And people responded. People came out in force, and I'll forever thank them for that because that's how, it's Tucson, to have Tucson High is nice, but it's kind of weird if it's all empty in the background, and that's where you have background extras.
For
So,
sure.
Todd, so let's go ahead and jump on over to the traditional trailer, the very classic trailer that we've all seen a billion gazillion times, and then
Got
we'll
it.
come back and we'll talk about, just various aspects, or if there's something you want to talk about with regard to your experience as a PA on All We Have. Okay,
Okay,
sweet. Todd, drink some coffee.
will do.
Okay, hold on.
I'll be right
Bye.
back.
Here, take my hand. This is it. Oh! What's your problem? Yeah, I hope the rest of your stuff falls too.
Sorry about earlier.
Can I help you with something?
Do you want to ride?
You still owe me.
What?
Yeah, the ride.
Taxi for Miss Natalia? Where would you like to go today?
Do you like riddles? Surprise!
Are you two dating? If you hurt her in any way, oh,
Look, man, you don't know me. But I suggest you get that macho bullshit out of my face before I put you in your place, homie.
I'm just trying to make some little shit.
apparently-
You don't know me.
I'm falling in love with you.
What did I say? Did I say something wrong?
Here, take my hand. This is it.
Todd, that was the official trailer for All We Have, sir. How do you feel, Todd? Movie's going to be in the Tucson Spectrum Harkins 18 on the south side, February 26th. What are your thoughts and
Well,
feelings on that, sir?
that's pretty exciting. That was actually like when you texted me with that news, I was actually pretty surprised. Like, I just felt like, I mean, this is my personal um, guesstimation of what you were gonna do, but I thought you were gonna do streaming service like right away because I feel that's what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm
let
not saying that as like I'm not even saying that as a bad thing though, because
yeah.
like you got other people that still want to put their movies in theaters. Like example, Christopher Nolan. I mean, totally different genre, but I mean, I think it's still cool that people still want to put their movie in theaters and get bigger recognition. So
It sounds like Christopher Nolan is a guy that is I mean he obviously, in this day and age you can't ignore the platforms, but he also honors the tradition of going to a theater in the dark room, the lights go out. It sounds like he's one of those type of weirdos.
yeah, exactly. But no, like when like reverting back to your film, I think it's awesome that I mean like Harkins was like one of the first movie theaters I actually that specific one was the one of the first movie theaters I went to when I moved out here to Green Valley slash Tucson.
Oh, that's awesome, bro. Yeah,
Yeah,
so that was as I said before on the front end of this live, it was a tough decision because we're in a pandemic. It's no one's fault, and but I wanted to look back on this point in time with regards to All We Have, and from like 6 months from now, a year from now, 2, 3, 5, 10 years from now, and know, you know what? I I did what I could for the film's birth into this world, so to speak. And so, I entirely understand I invite everyone out Friday, February 26th. Times are still yet to be determined, but if you feel comfortable with the theater's protocols, masking, social distancing, you can take your mask off only when you're seated to eat your popcorn, etc.
yeah,
Um, they have a ventilation system for increased airflow, and then they're also what's called staggering the start times so that I guess crowds don't build up, which is also, so they're trying, they're really trying. And so if you all feel comfortable, we would love to have you on out that day or that weekend. Friday the 26th, Sunday the 20th, or Saturday the 27th, Sunday the 28th, and then of course going into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of March, and then the run ends the 4th of March. Um, so yeah, a friend of mine had encouraged me to do a theatrical. I held off for a while, Todd, for those reasons, basically the pandemic. And then, I just thought, I want to, it was tough, dude. And it sucks too, as a filmmaker, to find yourself in this position, let me tell you. It really does suck to, 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 to be in this position. And so, um, the good people of Harkins, so I reached out, and I just thought, let's just try it. Let's just see what happens. And the good people of Harkins were responsive, thankfully. But there's a lot of steps. There's a lot of steps, some pretty costly steps to go through in order to get your movie into the theater. So I can understand why so much stuff just goes straight to the platforms. But I just thought, let's just try the movie theater, see what happens. And thanks to the good people of Harkins, bam, here we are. And then afterwards, later on down the line, after that screening, we'll see how that goes. And then, eventually later on down the line, platforms, and bam, on to the next movie. Todd, so what are your thoughts with regards to independent filmmaking and the state of it? Because you're literally part of an independent film here in Tucson. We made it happen. We have nothing to do with Hollywood, although we love Hollywood. Um, but and we're all connoisseurs, consumers of Hollywood. But I mean, you were on the set, bro. Like you were in an actual movie. Like, what are your thoughts, man?
Like in independent, you said an independent film in general.
Yeah,
Uh, I don't know, like during this whole pandemic thing, I think I've gained more of appreciation for independent film. Um, just like hearing people just say stories and character. I used to think spectacle was really important when I was younger, but now that like I think stories and character are the most important things in a film. Because if you
yeah.
don't have those, you kind of more. I know they say make it or break it, but you kind of break the film if you don't have those two important elements.
I think those two important elements definitely have to be there, but you can also throw spectacle in there too.
Yeah,
But if it's spectacle without a strong, compelling, interesting, substantive story, or if the performances are not up to par, then you know what I mean? Like, good luck there. Um, One of my most or best recent examples, Joker.
yeah,
That was story, that was character all the way, but on the basis of one of the greatest supervillains we've ever known. And at first I thought like, okay, it's weird, but it could be interesting. And sure as hell it was, bro. Kudos to Joaquin Phoenix. Kudos to who wrote that? Todd Phillips.
platforms. Yeah,
Todd Phillips wrote that and he directed it. Kudos to him for that, man, because you can throw spectacle in there. And so with regards to all we have, definitely not a big budget film, but we had some great performances by great leading actors or great leading actor and actress, Stefano Lopeza and Karen Marroquin, if I could not screw up her name. And the story is I want to write this is a story I'm really proud of, and I want to do even better next time also. But this
yeah,
is a story that I'm really proud of, and quality of story I'm really proud of. Um, and what I think about independent film, Todd, and I'm not talking about like, I'm not talking about like, wow, we only had $500,000 to work with and we really suffered because we could only afford Brad Pitt for 10 minutes type of independent film. I'm
yeah,
talking like, hey Todd, I scored $20, like let's go get some chicken sandwiches type of independent film. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But here's the thing about it is that those productions with technology applied and then all the platforms that are now accessible, etc. My 2 cents is yes, there might be more segmentation of okay, your HBO stuff, your Netflix stuff, your Hulu stuff, your Disney Plus. There's a lot of segmentation going on, and so I think that that's just the world that we live in, and especially with what we're doing here. But I think if you keep up with Todd, I know you like the stuff that A24 produces.
Oh yeah,
if you keep up with the little camps that you're interested in and you cheer
Mhm.
them on, you root for them, you consume their stuff, that's the new world that we live in, then I think moving forward, there's still a lot of potential. It looks different from the traditional way, but it's still super doable to tell a story, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, I really thought about it this morning. Like, we had a small crew. I mean, even if we had extras, compared to obviously big budget movies,
Hmm.
we had a small cast. I mean, I read it this morning that that new film, Malcolm and Marie. I don't know if you've heard about it on Netflix.
Which one?
Malcolm and Marie. It's
Malcolm and
directed
Marie? No.
it's directed by Sam Levinson, the creator of Euphoria.
Uh-huh.
It's with Zendaya. And I guess they had, like amidst this whole pandemic, I think they wanted to play it the safe route. They had a crew of 22 people. The cast did their own makeup and hair,
Really?
and they didn't do any wardrobe changes. So I feel like even like big name stars are going to these smaller teams, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think that's I have to check it out, Todd. I'm like oblivious to the production. What is it called?
Malcolm and Marie. That's with Zendaya and John David Washington from Tenet.
I will check it out. I will check it out because I think from what it sounds like, from what you're telling me, I think it sounds like a situation where, okay, given the circumstances, the obstacles, the difficulty, like there's always still a way if you get creative, if you think just a little outside of the box, there's always still a way to get stuff done,
Yeah,
I think. Um, a good buddy of mine, Charlie Min, says successful people find a way, unsuccessful people find excuses. And so, if you're telling me that like these actors and actresses are doing their own makeup, like that's pretty cool because then at this point in time in their life, they're going to be able to look back on like the pandemic and realize or say like, yeah, I was still on a production, but like social distancing, so I had to do my own makeup and whatnot. And so I think it's a cool thing that they're going to look back on and talk about with regards to like this truly weird time in our human history.
yeah, definitely.
Todd, so let's go ahead and go on back to the bus stop since that's a new piece of content. And
Yeah.
yeah, everyone, all we have will be at the Harkins Theater February 26th. Showtime soon to come, but as soon as those tickets are out, Todd, I will let you know. You can let all your contacts know. And yeah, purchase your tickets, everyone. So here we go. All we have, let's take a look at the bus stop scene.
Here, take my hand. This is it.
Hey, does your phone still work?
Yeah, usually works pretty well.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, sure. Can I help you with something?
Hey, you taking the bus?
Sitting at the bus stop would usually be an indication of that.
I meant like,
What did you mean?
do you want to ride?
Are you serious?
What?
This is how you put the moves on.
I'm not trying to put.
First, you try and mow them down, then pick them up by offering them a lift. Yeah, smooth.
You know what? Never mind. I was just hoping.
To get me into some random guy's car today?
Todd, back to us on screen, sir. So you know what's funny that I realized about the bus stop scene on the very front end of the film?
What's that?
There was not. So that's at the corner here in Tucson, Arizona of Speedway and Stone. There was a dirt lot there and with the big Tucson mural that says Tucson.
Oh yeah.
And but There was a big dirt lot there. Now there's a Popeyes chicken.
Yeah. I'm like,
And so it just kind of goes to show like yes, it's been a little while since we've done this project. But they also kind of popped that Popeyes chicken up pretty quickly. Now, one of the things that I remember, Todd, is that was one of our first days filming, and we
yeah,
were running around. Just it was a lot of work. It was always every single day was always a lot of work, but that moment in particular, the sun was literally leaving us, and we literally had to do takes and cram as many takes in while you reflected the light onto Stefan from over Karen's shoulder. And so it just kind of goes to show that you can still take a natural setting like a bus stop, as long as you're not impeding the space and being a nuisance or anything like that, and still build a scene, a memorable, important scene.
yeah.
What you got in that, Todd?
Like when it comes to like not impeding the scene, is that what you mean?
Yeah, or just running out to the streets, like literally the streets, to film one of the most important introductory scenes to these two characters, Andres and Natalia.
Yeah, I thought that was really important, and especially like how you mentioned like cramming on time. I think like that wasn't even the only day that we were cramming on time for when it came to sunlight.
Yeah.
What was it? It was the day we shot on a mountain. We were supposed to bring
Oh my God, yeah.
Stefan's car, and I don't know, maybe I don't even know what happened, but like, I was getting called by a pastor asking me where the car is, and I'm like, I didn't know we were supposed to bring the car, and then because I think we took my car, and
Yeah.
then we had to turn around and go and get his car, and I think his outfit was in that car. So I'm like, oh,
Yes.
like we literally had to like haul butt down like Broadway and whatnot to get to A Mountain.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of fun running around. Of course, you got to do it safely, when
Yeah.
you're driving around, but it's the logistics of planning all these scenes in accordance with, and many times out of sequence. This movie was totally shot out of sequence, and then you bring all the pieces of the puzzle together, and they fit where they fit. But yeah, we were always up against time. Time is a funny thing on a film set because if you're having a good time, if you have good flow, good rhythm, and you know what you're doing, and you're knocking out, boom, sequence after sequence after sequence, time goes by. And I think, for the human brain, because and when you're staying busy, it goes by fast. And especially if it's pleasurable, you know what I mean? Like, especially if you're having a good time. If you are wasting the time, forget it, dude. Like, that's a whole other conversation. Like you can't do that. You have to know what you need to do, what comes next, your shot setups, and so a lot of that was homework on my end as the director of photography the night before, drawing out my schematics of okay, filming here and there and this and that. I don't do any Todd help me out. The freaking frames with the little drawings. Shot list? No.
Oh, no, 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 no. I was like concept drawings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't do any of those. What I do are camera setups as if I'm
Gotcha.
looking down onto the actual scene itself from above, and I draw little circles. Okay, Stefan stands here, Karen stands here, camera this way, and so, I just draw. It looks like tic-tac-toe, if you ask me, like the way coaches draw football stuff. By the way, tomorrow's the Super Bowl, and I'm probably gonna be watching a movie. So, Maribel writes, where did you film the motorcycle scene, Todd? You were not there for the motorcycle scenes. Um, Maribel Ibarra. So that is the beautiful, talented, ever so amazing. Let me preface with these words. Maribel Ibarra. Also my wife. Um, yeah, Maribel did, gosh, everything, craft services to cutting checks, wardrobe, woman of many hats. So we filmed those scenes in just outside of Douglas, Arizona. And so we had to go out to southeastern Arizona because we needed a scene where they ride a motorcycle for certain reasons. And so there was a person that I was waiting on here. I had met him. I don't know too many people with motorcycles. Met a guy, he's got a motorcycle, but out in the field. I'm a news cameraman, so I met him, probably interviewing him. Except he wasn't too receptive. Like here I am, like this news guy, and I'm asking him for like this favor to film a scene. in Tucson. And so he was just like I got the hint that like he wasn't calling me back and he just wasn't about it. So um called up my brother-in-law Louis Garcia. Thankfully he volunteered to be our motorcycle tech and he hooked us up with it wasn't a motorcycle, it was a quad, but you know, close enough. And then so we went out there to just outside of Douglas and to film that and that whole region of the state, beautiful, beautiful place to film. And again, just telling a story and taking the same old location. Um, Todd, are you excited for the film on the big screen?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think it's a totally different thing from watching. I mean, I watched it on my laptop, and then comparing it to a big screen, I'd rather watch a movie on a big screen over a small screen any day.
Yeah, I think it's like when the internet came around and everyone said, or when YouTube came around, everyone said, "Oh my God, television's dying." It's not dying. It's just that there's another option. It's called the internet, and it's called Netflix, HBO Go, etc. Right? So there are other options now, you know, for filmmakers to cram their stuff straight into the into platforms.
Yeah,
But it doesn't invalidate going to an old school movie theater where you sit in a seat, lights go down. That's an experience. You know,
yeah,
that's truly an experience. And you know, they invest into these experiences by offering 3D, the popcorn, the stadium seating, the recliners. You know, that's the whole purpose behind that is that they know that they're in competition to, you know, have people come on out and there's still something to be there's a lot to be said for still showing up at a movie theater, right, Todd?
yep, that's true.
Alrighty, Todd. So, what do you say that we go ahead and start wrapping things up? We will show the Tucson High scene one more time for everyone who is just jumping aboard. We'll come back to us and then we'll go ahead and close out on the regular trailer, Todd, with any sort of closing message you would like to add. Sure.
All right,
All right, cool.
all right, sounds good.
I talk a lot, don't I, Todd?
That's all right. It's
Uh,
it's your show.
no, it's our show, Todd. It's our show. I'm the guy pushing the buttons over here.
All right,
But I
right
couldn't
on.
have done this without you, brother. So, all right. So here we go. And yes, I do talk a lot. So, um, I have a wife that reminds me of that too. So, let's go.
Here, take my hand. This is it.
Oh! What's your problem? Yeah, I hope the rest of your stuff falls too.
Sorry about earlier.
Todd, just as it says, sir, opens Friday, February. Well, it doesn't say Friday, but February 26th, which is a Friday, 3 weeks from yesterday. So in
Yeah.
literally 20 days, all we have is going to be on the big screen at Harkins on the south side at the Tucson at the Harkins Theater, Tucson Spectrum 18, if I can get that right. It's right off of Irvington and I-19. And yes, yes, we're in a global pandemic. Yes, this was a tough decision to make. I actually held off on it for a little while, but the theater does have things like a mask mandate, social distancing, aside from, you know, when you're seated, you can take your mask off, eat your popcorn, extra butter, please. Thank you. And and then also what else? A ventilation system, and they're staggering or spreading out the start times to make sure that crowds don't gather in, you know, in the lobby or on the premises in general, I think. Todd, you excited? You pumped for our our premiere of All We Have in the 7 day run, via the good people of Harkins.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think the thing I want to say with that is like, it'd be awesome if people can come out and support the local film community, and we totally get it if you do want to stay home
Yeah.
because it is a global pandemic, and but Harkins is taking the correct precautions. As I've been to that theater specifically, the seats are social distanced, the rows are social distance. I do recommend getting snacks because when I went, I wore my mask for the entire movie,
Hmm.
and that got a little uncomfortable after 2.5 hours for the movie that I saw.
Yeah.
But even if it's, this film in particular is about an hour and a half, you still want to get something to munch on.
Yeah. And 50% capacity. Thank you for reminding me, Todd. I forgot about the 50% capacity. Like they're making it's it's horrible that we're all in this position to where it has to be like public health, a tug of war versus of public health versus, life going on. And and that's the thing that sucks about finding myself in this position to make a decision under these circumstances. But as you said, Todd, if you guys don't come out, and I've already had some older people, tell me like, hey, haven't been going anywhere. I'm not going to start going now, and I entirely understand. Um, so it's everyone's own decision, but I do encourage people to come on out if you feel comfortable and safe, given the theater's standards to help fight the pandemic. So, Todd, anything else you'd like to add with regards to, just your experience on, um, being a production assistant on All We Have? And
Um, yeah, I think I mean you opened the door for me to, gain more experience, which I'm eternally grateful for.
yeah, man,
And
happy to do so.
yeah, I don't know anything from sound equipment to light equipment to, camera like rigs and jibs. Like I didn't know anything of that. Like even in, my basic production class, like I learned how to use a camera. That was about it. And editing
Hmm.
technology. But I mean, this is expanded on that like 100 times more. And
Yeah.
it makes me want to start doing my own stuff now. I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily like starting filmmaking right away, but starting my own YouTube channel eventually. So
Yeah. And I encourage you to do so, Todd, because like, it's not all about me and Edgar's movies, and Edgar's always making the writing and the directing. I want to see you do some stuff, Todd. Because I know you got like a ton of ideas. You consume so much more film than I do than I could even try to begin.
yeah,
But
yeah, I think I've kind of almost overdone it at this point. Like I'm trying to find new stuff to do, like
yeah,
currently. But yeah, like I think you also put it in perspective for like I think you always said, all these people are always saying like, oh, I got to get the next big thing. Like I got to get the most expensive camera, the most expensive lights.
yep,
Which I mean, recently I've been looking at stuff. And I'm like, I mean, I go to Best Buy a lot,
hmm,
so they have like some really affordable stuff. And I'm like, man, I can start out with this, and I don't need like
yep,
a $1,200 camera to start off with. Like I can use my cell phone for right now with a ring light to
yep,
hold me over.
yeah. So very true. It just goes back to the mentality of it has a few different names. Robert Rodriguez calls it the mariachi style school of filmmaking.
Oh,
Um, resource filmmaking. Call it whatever you want to call it. It's basically taking minimum resources at your disposal and maximizing or for maximizing results. If that result is a short film or a vlog or whatever, but just, do your thing. Do your thing and just start doing it. My opinion, my 2 cents. So, everyone, thank you so much, Todd. Todd, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate
yep.
it.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
And thank you for everyone. Todd was and is the hardest working PA I've ever known on a production. Went all out every single time, like a true professional. Was there, just all the time. Maybe not all the time, Todd. You did have some days where you're like, I need to work today and I can't get out of my. And I'm like, oh yeah, of course, no worries. But like for the most part, you guys get what I mean. You guys get what I mean. Todd was always there, 3,000%. Todd, I'll always this movie and that aspect and so many aspects could not have happened without you. So I thank you so much, Todd.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Todd. Okay, so yeah, just to recap, everyone. All We Have. It's gonna be at the Harkins Spectrum, Tucson. Oh my God. Ugh. Okay. It's gonna be at the Harkins Tucson Spectrum 18 off of I-19 in Irvington on Tucson's South Side, Friday, February 26th for a 7-day run. So you can catch All We Have that Friday the 26th, Saturday the 27th, Sunday the 28th, and of course that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of March. And love to have you guys check it out. And Todd, let's also talk about what you mentioned. You had a great point about support. Um, let's say you have a local favorite restaurant, Todd. That favorite restaurant is able to keep on existing and providing you whatever you like to eat there.
Mhm.
But for what reason? Why? Because you do what?
Because I mean, for example, for the restaurant, you're supporting them.
Yes.
Then it would be
Yes.
the same thing for supporting this movie. I mean, if you're going to go see the movie all 7 days, that's awesome. I mean, if you even see it once, that's still just as great. But yeah, once if you come out and support this film, um, it's gonna have legs. With
Yeah, and like any other like of the restaurant metaphor or like this it's show business. The show is the art side, the filmmaking side, and blah blah blah. And then there's the business. The business aspect, I mean, um the reality is we need to uh we need money flowing, in our economy. That goes for every business, every sector, and whatnot. And so, when you have that money flowing, in this case, you're supporting Harkins. I'm not going to call them a small business or an art house. We know they're not, but we do appreciate them so much. And like so many businesses, they need support too, especially in this time. And then they're giving our tiny production an opportunity. I really do think about that, and I really do thank them for it. They're giving our tiny production an opportunity on their screens, and so um, I'll forever thank them for that. But we also, do need to have that lifeblood of, the money coming in, just like any other business. And so, it's the business part of show business. So if you guys feel comfortable with the theater's safety protocols, would love to have you there starting Friday, February 26th, if I could remember the date correctly. Not pause while I say that. Todd, any closing message, sir?
No, just come check out the movie February 26th, anytime during that week, and it's greatly appreciated. You come support the art of film.
I agree. I agree.
And
Thank you,
stay
sir.
safe. Wear a mask. Wash your hands.
Yes, please wear a mask, wash your hands, social distance. On a personal note, please shower, everyone. We have showers. We have
No,
soap.
no, no kissing.
In the movies, like no making out in the back.
No, just in general. No, I'm kidding.
Like honestly, I got some stories about some movie theaters, but when I was like in high school, dude. So we'll keep that off the show. We'll go ahead
Yeah,
and
for
keep that
sure.
off the show. So, and Todd, just to close out, sir, we're gonna go and leave everyone with the information for the graphic, with the graphic on the front and the back end of the trailer, for Harkins, February 26th, and then of course on the trailer itself. So, Todd, thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks for having me. Talk to you later.
You're welcome, brother. Talk to you later, man.
Later.
Here, take my hand. This is it.
Oh! What's your problem? Yeah, I hope the rest of your stuff falls too.
Sorry about earlier.
Can I help you with something?
Do you want to ride?
You used to owe me.
What?
Yeah, maybe ride.
Taxi from Miss Natalia? Where would you like to go today?
Do you like riddles? Surprise!
Are you two dating? If you hurt her in any way, oh,
Look, man, you don't know me. But I suggest you get that macho bullshit out of my face before I put you in your place, homie.
I just tried to make some little shit.
Apparently,
You don't know me.
I'm falling in love with you.
What did I say? Did I say something wrong?
Here, take my hand. This is it.